Namaste. Hi, good morning, everyone, or good evening. Depends on where you are. This is Kayoko from Yoga Gives Back in Los Angeles. And I'm very excited to talk to Nadine McNeil in Jamaica, who is joining Yoga Gives Back as the first ambassador from Jamaica. And let's bring Nadine in. Thrilled to talk to her. She had an amazing session during our global gathering for India last week. And hey, Nadine.
Good morning. Hey,
Good
how you
morning.
doing?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Have you recovered from your extraordinary feat last week?
Yeah, kind of. We just put it in replay. So that's really amazing. So everybody who missed it can join and enjoy next 2 weeks until July 15th. How was the experience for you?
Wow. It was really beautiful. I felt very, it's one of these things that even though we're operating online, you can still feel the energy of what's taking place.
Yeah.
And so I was just super honored to be able to share my first person story to represent this land, Jamaica, as it were, and just to be a part of something so much greater than myself, with so many of my peers and friends and new friends and old friends, and actually brought up a lot of emotion for me, and also a time to reflect on my own growth and transformation as a result of the gift of yoga. So it's just so beautiful at so many levels.
Yeah, thank you, Nadine. And I was just telling everyone, but I'm so honored to have you as the first ambassador from Jamaica to join Yoga Gives Back.
Thank you.
And this is how we have been growing. This is our 14th year now. And yeah, and now we fund more than 1,400 women and children in India. And our ambassadors, we now have almost 150 ambassadors in more than 20 countries, and you're adding another country for us.
Oh, beautiful,
Yes,
beautiful.
and
Yes,
yeah, and you can reach out to your community with our mission. That's how we grew our grassroots campaign. So I'm just
yes.
grateful that we are connected through this amazing event past the weekend. Thanks to Daphne, and our community will continue to grow.
Of course, indeed, absolutely.
Yeah, and now we raised almost together with International Yoga Day campaign, we raised almost 70,000 now. So we just
Seven
need
zero.
$70,000.
Yay, that's
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah.
So
So we just
I think what was our target? 100,000.
yes,
So let's do it.
exactly. We
Hi,
can do
Sean. I have a friend who's on. Good to see you. Wonderful.
great. You see your friend?
Yes, I just said hello to her.
Oh,
Yes,
good. Sean, Sean Marie.
yes,
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, it's just $30,000 more, and it would determine to get to a goal of 100,000. So we can do so much more. My feeling really is with your support, we can, we are shifting our funding for emergency relief right now for food and medication, sanitary kits and napkins and so on, so that the girls are protected and not forced to get married. Because that's been a big project, to provide women and girls independence and education so that they can continue and build their sustainable lives. Um, but
yes.
yes,
If I may just interject for our listeners who may not have joined last week,
yeah,
and please correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the things that we've noticed in India as a result of the pandemic is an increase in child bride marriages, as it were.
yeah,
So one of the things that Give Back India is doing, and I'm certainly Yoga Gives Back, I'm certainly very committed to, is that if we can shift the economics, so moving from the emergency to a more sustainable product, then we're able to reduce this and ultimately protect women.
yes,
So all of the sisters and brothers listening here, I'd like for you to really take that in, all about the culture from Florida. Welcome. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, that's correct, Nadine. Thank you for shedding light upon that. Yeah, our organization is not an emergency relief organization. We are here for 14 years and we built a relationship with NGOs, non-government organizations in India, in West Bengal and Karnataka states, so that we can continue to transform girls, women, and some orphans, boys too, to build sustainable livelihood with good education, microloan business income, which they never had in their lives. And we've done that for 14 years now. Yeah, Apuba is saying hi from Calcutta, India. She's a daughter of a director of the NGO partner in India we work with. And
Oh,
they do,
beautiful.
they do amazing work. You know, when we don't hear so much in the news anymore, but the reality, like you said, child marriage, child labor is very serious and it's increasing everywhere in India because just imagine parents lost their income last almost 15 months now and they don't have enough food. So the girls are the first to go. And a lot of child marriage is happening, human trafficking is happening everywhere. And unfortunately, COVID orphans are increasing, and we're trying to add. We support orphanage in Mysore, outside of Mysore in Karnataka state. So we want to fund so that we can fund more children to come to orphanage who lost their parents because of COVID. So these are the stories we don't hear, but I appreciate your support.
The other thing I would love to highlight here is the impact of a donation. Oftentimes when we give, we don't know how much to give or what to give. So let us say if someone gives $22 or $55, how many families or girls are impacted by their donation?
Yeah, thank you. So that's a good question. Like $25 can give a girl primary education for a year, for a year, $25. And $250 can give a girl or boy a college degree education for a year. $5 can give a meal for a whole day for one family. So 3 meals a day, a family of 7, just $5.
Wow, that's incredible. So I urge everyone, give what you can, and if you can give more, then please give more. One of the questions I know that often comes up is, there are issues happening all across the world. Absolutely. However, each one teaches one, and we help where we can. If this is something that moves you, and many people listening here are part of a yoga community, so I pray that you are behooved to really hand back to a place that has given so much to us as yogis,
Yeah.
and make an impact. And that term that you just used, I've not heard before, COVID orphans.
Yes.
I'm sure they're not just in India.
Right.
Yeah.
That's really, really amazing. It's really sad. And yeah, but we can be the part of solution, right? If we come together, and that's our goal. And Nadine, now that I have you here, I'd love to also hear what motivates you, what's your aspiration that, keeps you going as a yoga teacher.
Wow, that's a big question, and it's interesting that you'd be asking me this today because I'm going to be doing a post within the next 24 hours about who am I really and what gets me out of bed. And what prompted this post was I had a woman ask me, she says, I know you, but I don't actually know what you do. And I was a bit taken aback by that because I live in a world where love you too, my Sheen. So to tell you, Sheens is my Indian sister who plays the hand drums for me in my classes in Bali and so much more. And to have her on this call today means a lot to me.
Yeah.
She's in Singapore at the moment, also on the path, and an extraordinary woman. So if you're ever in Singapore or Bali, please look up Sheen 0609. But getting back to your question, what's more important than what I do is who am I being. So showing up here, having not had children of my own, one of my missions in life is to leave the place marginally better than I found it. So I support the causes that speak to my heart. I make love lead. I let love lead, whatever the situation is that I'm facing, be it as a yoga teacher, which is one of the tools that I use to connect with people, be it as a transformational speaker, as a writer, as a wisdom mentor and transformational coach. Ultimately, my mission is to hold a safe and sacred space that invites people to step into the fullest expression of themselves. There's nothing for us to find. When we say we're finding our voice or finding ourselves, we're not lost. We're all here. We're here, fully embodied. What many of us need and call in, including myself, is someone that can just tenderly hold that space, that says it's safe for me to fall down, get up, and just keep on keeping on.
Yeah, that's wonderful. But how did you come to that kind of conviction to serve?
Wow, that's a big question. I often say that who we are is born out of our childhood, something that's formed between the ages of, let us say, 3, 5, 7, and about 16. And I can still remember as a little girl, there were two things that really interested me. One, I wanted to be a dancer. And the second one was I wanted to be the first female prime minister of Jamaica. I
Well,
didn't get,
you
we've
don't know
already
yet.
had a female prime minister, so I can't first on that one. But when I think about that, it's not surprising, Kyoto, that I'm in the line of work that I'm in, that I am a yoga teacher, I move my body, and that I'm a champion for human beings, being a global humanitarian. I think it really started for me at a personal level when my family structure fell apart. For whatever my mother may have been going through, she chose to leave the matrimonial home. I essentially grew up with my father until I was about 16 years old. She left when I was 13. And I have sort of been my own mother, sister, daughter, wife, girlfriend throughout. And I often say to clients, when I couldn't save the world, save my family, pardon me, I then thought, well, let me go save the world by joining the United Nations. So it's really interesting how our dharma, our purpose, guides us without us even being present to it. And so as we become more present, we're able to have deeper and wider impact. I know for sure that the impact, the mission, the service, what I was brought here to do is to impact at a large scale. And so I step into that in the knowing that spirit will guide and lead me, because that's what spirit wants me to do. Spirit didn't bring me here to play small.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your personal journey. Well, so you had, you know, struggled with motherhood or, loss of mother, presence of mother as a young child. But so you had that, very strong experience as growing up. But do you think yoga practice or yoga journey has helped you to like sharpen or identify your goal?
Absolutely, 2000%. And for those of us who are yogis, when we go, thank goodness for yoga, or yoga saved my life, or where would I be without yoga? You again, it's one of those things that yoga is life. And if we're living from a place of conscious awareness, fully embodied, we're not just moving through this thing like robots. That is the essence of yoga. And for me, what the yoga, the practice, both on and off the mat really did was that it returned me to me. And, the mat, for those of us who are, in the practice of asana, our mats are really our mirrors. It's the one place that we cannot hide. And I often say, yes, we can get into intricate asanas, but can you deal with life's intricacies? That's what it's really about. The fact that you can put your foot over your head is kind of irrelevant. I want to know, how do you show up, you know, in controversy, in adversity, in conflict? You know, how can you show up, you know, from that place of selfless service?
Yeah, that's wonderful. I think a lot of people who are listening in, if you're a yoga practitioner, I think there's a strong message there, right? Because a lot of times, still in mainstream yoga world, physical appearance or asana is overemphasized. But
Absolutely.
mhm,
Absolutely. And as I said on the morning of Yoga Gives Back, the yoga community, certainly in the last 2 years, has really been called upon to determine and decide, well, what do we want to do? What are we doing here? We have sphere of influence. I don't remember what the stats are now in terms of how many million people are practicing yoga in the United States alone. I remember a few years ago working on a research paper. The average yogi in the US makes about 75,000 US dollars a year. So there's money there. And as we know, whether we like it or not, and what our opinions may or may not be about money, money is energy, and it's a currency through which we can change things. So we got to put the money on the table. You know, yes, we have big hearts and all of that. You know, even working with us as individuals, we know the space that we hold as facilitators, as practitioners, etc. And so what helps us to sustain that is, you know, to receive our worth
yeah,
abundantly, so that we can continue the work. As one of my coaches says, you know, that the whole essence of money is that money really gives us greater memories. So if we have more, we give more, we impact greater on 1,400 young girls and women in India. It just is as simple as that.
yeah, very well said. And just imagine US dollar, a dollar can buy like a meal, you know, in
Yes.
India for a family. $5 can give entire family whole day. Um, so yeah, and statistically, I think there are about 300 million yoga practitioners in the world, raising $80 billion. You know, the numbers fluctuate, but that's the kind of estimate number. So from the beginning, our goal was, if just a fraction of these billions of and billions raised or generated in the yoga industry or yoga community, if the fraction can go to India, we can make a huge impact of gratitude as yoga practitioners and yoga communities. So I'm glad you mentioned that. Um, and Nadine, would you, you know, I know we have time limit, but would you share, as a yoga teacher and coach, what is your practice like, daily practice?
My daily practice. I love my daily practice. So I wake up, I set my alarm for 4:44 a.m. I usually wake up before the alarm, and I immediately go into some sort of meditation. I might listen to something on YouTube. I've been listening to an app called Unplug at the moment, which I love. Also listening to Goddess out of Bali, GDAS. So I do that. So I listen to some stuff. Then I sit in meditation for about 20 minutes, and then I move my body. I'm usually at the gym. Being here in Jamaica, the movement that my body calls for at the moment is strength and fortitude. So I'm at the gym about 4 days a week, and then every other day I get on my yoga mat. More of a yin yang practice. When I get to the mat, it's more to slow things down, really connecting with my breath. And that happens daily, no matter what. The piece that I am working on, because we're always working on something, is how I close down my day. You know, most of us tend to be really good in the morning. We get up, we do the affirmations, we write in our journals, we express gratitude, but we can't, the end of the day kind of falls apart. And I think one of the things, well, let's, you know, commit to it. We're on July 2nd for the next 21 days, just giving thanks before going to bed and seeing what happens in that process. So that's essentially my daily practice, but absolutely moving my body any which way, and taking some time for rest, which for me is usually Sunday afternoon and Monday afternoon, because I tend to work Sunday mornings.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Yeah, that's wonderful. We should all remember to
It
say
seems I'm
gratitude
losing you a bit.
before
I
we go
hope
to
you can
bed,
hear
right?
me
Before we
okay.
fall. Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah, we lost connection a little bit. Sorry, it might be
I
my.
lost you for just a little bit. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Can you hear me? Sorry, maybe our connection is not very strong at the moment. But Nadine was just sharing how next 21 days we should remember um, to say gratitude before we go to bed, not just when we wake up. Can you hear? Can you hear me? Um, we have Nadine McNeil from Jamaica, and we were having a great conversation, learning how. Um, oh, you can't hear me. Okay. I don't know what happened. Okay. Maybe. Would you like to come back in again? Yeah, I can't hear you either. I don't know what happened. Yeah, so Nadine, um, let's see. Let me invite her again. And Nadine McNeil from Jamaica has just joined YGB as the first global ambassador from Jamaica, adding one more country for Yoga Gives Back's mission to be shared. So I'm so grateful. And she just had amazing session during a global gathering for India. And we are sharing this replay of 36 hours of incredible sessions of kirtan music, chanting, meditation, some movements, yoga asana classes by wonderful teachers. So please, I'm going to put it here, but please go to Yoga Gives Back. And the event was a global gathering for India. And it's just $10 to access this 36 incredible sessions. And you can donate the $10 or more and enjoy the class. And it's okay, Nadine. I think there is internet issue, so you just share. I'm glad you shared so much with us, and we can say goodbye now. But just follow us at Yoga Gives Back, and I'll be sharing this conversation on Instagram TV also. But thank you so much, Nadine, and we look forward to working with you to make even bigger impact. Thank you so much. Namaste.